the hot seat with me, Wangari Muthoi. Well, we said it's got in Nyeri, and we invited most of the parliamentary aspirants come 2022. With me, we have Onyaga Gadaka, the former mayor, Wakioro, the Gakere-based MP, we have Gashero Wakiri, and we have Esther Kamau. Well, we have apologies from the incumbent MP Ngojiru Wambogo. He had a busy schedule. Patrick Ngachia also had a busy schedule, and Duncan Maina is on his way. Hopefully he'll get here before the end of the interview. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I'm really honored, and at least for the first time on the hot seat we have a fellow woman. Congratulations. It feels nice. I'm always surrounded by men. So let us dive and see who will bear the heat and who will get scorched. So we start with ladies first. Kindly tell us who is Esther and what are your aspirations come 2022?
Thank you, Eunice, for having me on the hot seat. My names are Esther Wangari, or Nyota Nyeri, a businesswoman based in Nyeri town, and also an aspiring MP come 2022.
Awesome. Gashero, kindly in also less than a minute, who are you and
Yeah, my name is Stanley Gashero Afande is my name. I'm a practicing advocate in the Republic of Kenya. And formerly, I aspired for Nyeri Parliamentary seat in the year 2017 with a Jubilee ticket. And I'm still pursuing the dream 2022. So I'm a rebel professional, a family man, and also a Christian, also working as a secretary.
Awesome. Wanyaga Gadaka. Who is Wanyaga?
Wanyaga Gadaka has been the mayor of Nyeri for about 2 terms, and I have the experience of leading Nyeri people, having been tested by the people of Nyeri, and that's why I came to think of trying to be the member of parliament. I'm a businessman, doing hospitality business called Senior Chief of Boko. I don't really know. We have tried to test this seat because of one reason or another. One thing, we don't have people from Nyeri.
Okay, that one we'll go to after Wakioro introduces himself.
Yes, I'm Charles Gatia Wangeshi, popularly known as Wakioro, and also in business I deal with sanitation matters. Particularly, I run this First Park sanitation block that is located along Akere Street. And professionally, I've studied BCom, Human Resource Management option, and I just graduated recently from Dedan Kimathi University of Technology.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
also a family man.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Seems I'm the only single person in this whole group. Anyway, away from that, we start with which party are you vying with come 2022? Wanyaga Gadaka, start with you.
I'll be fine with the UDA ticket, and I've been about 2 competitors. That is Gashero, the mayor. We're waiting for the nomination to be done. And whoever will take the ticket, we will select the other candidates. I don't know which candidate.
Wakioro, which?
Yes, for Wakioro, I believe I'm good enough to run as an independent candidate, and I'm not changing my mind. I'll do so up to the end.
As an independent
Yes,
candidate.
because I believe I have enough followership to get me to parliament without moving into any particular political party.
Gashero, tunaenda na chama gani?
I mean, first, I want to say I see over the House Foundation. I've been a big supporter of the House Foundation. And I've also been supporting the UK party. And therefore, it means the UDA party is the party of choice. And I'm ready to go. I know there's nobody else who can be able to sell the bottom up to Nyeri town. Not that myself. Taking into account my history, I was doing chicken business here in town during my study, and the eggs during my study. So I know I'm the one who is able to sell the issue of the bottom up.
Nyota ya Nyeri, which chama are we coming with?
I am in Chama cha Kazi, and in Chama cha Kazi we say this is a party built for posterity, and on top of that our key pillars are sanctity in enterprise, diligence in working, and unity in diversity. That is what we believe in. And our slogan being Kazi na Pesa, because there is no work without money.
Wow. Awesome. So, Wakero, what made you decide to vie for the parliamentary seat?
For one, having studied leadership and government, I saw a move for leadership, whereby you realize the current setup or the current leadership that we have right now, somebody does things just the way they want without considering the feelings of the people that voted that person in. You realize that somebody can even sponsor goons to go and disorganize other people's meetings. I realize that is not leadership, but leadership is supposed to be leadership that promotes peace, leadership that promotes cohesion and integrity. So I found in myself a person who is able to do that and involve the people in decision-making processes.
So what is your main objective? Because still you've told me what you saw, but you've not told me what you really want to do.
Exactly. Promote peace, peaceful coexistence and development agenda, which I shall give.
How do you intend to do that?
For one, I intend to have an office that shall deal with human resource consultancy, that shall collect data on our human resource capital in the constituency, and thereafter embark on a journey of getting jobs within and outside the country. You realize we have countries that have an aging population that do not have young people who can work. Okay, so we are going to look for opportunities for many jobless young people.
So right now,
Yes.
if you check around Nyeri, which is the main area, or most of the people who are not employed,
Yes.
what have they specialized in?
Exactly. That's why you are talking about creating a database. We get the information fast because we don't have that information in any office.
So
Because we have young people with different professions, we have nurses, we have doctors who are unemployed.
being a leader,
Yes.
I suspect you've interacted with various number of people,
Yes.
and I would expect you'd be
Yes.
telling me, like Eunice has done journalism, but she doesn't have a job, so I can help
Yes.
her do this.
Exactly. And the fact that I just left school, I know that we have accountants who I have studied with, we have lawyers, we have people in different professions, various professions across the board. So we'll create a database for that, because definitely we have the university here and it's producing thousands and thousands of students each and every year.
Between employing them and you've said you would create a database, and then we have an aging population in different countries.
Yes.
Between you letting them go outside the country to work
Yes.
and creating jobs in Nyeri,
Yes.
which is the best?
No, we still have that agenda of creating jobs in Nyeri. That's why I'm telling you I have a manifesto that is broad-based. Are we together? Because we also have this idea of inviting investors. You realize kitu kama tomato sauce, you buy it at 120 and in nyanya mbili. So what we are saying is we can invite those people.
Really? Ni nyanya mbili kweli?
Hata zikienda sana sio 10 na nyanya 10 sio 120. So you see, like, we can get these people to set up industries here. We give them land, they set up industries so that we can also create jobs for our young people. So we're having this broad-based approach whereby it's not just letting people go, we're also creating jobs internally. Because definitely not everybody can fit here.
Wanyaga, why do you want to be the MP Nyeri 2022?
First and foremost, I'm a product of Mwai Kibaki. We have learned politics from Mwai Kibaki when I was a young guy. And when Mwai Kibaki was the president of this country, I was also the mayor of Nyeri. What we learned from that government is to help people who are needy. And when they introduced free education, we have seen it is not working. We never used to miss medicine in a hospital. So we want to be I want to be the member of parliament to see that what we were elected for is to take care of the residents of Nyeri, and mostly the youth. And if I'm going to be elected, the first thing I would think about is to empower women, because women are the most important people in the family.
How do you intend to empower women?
Well, in Hasala Nation, where we have already talked about giving about 120 million. That 120 million is for the constituency. That money should be good to women and then youth, so that they can help.
I'm a woman,
Yes,
and you've given me, let's say, 100,000.
correct.
What do you want me to do with that money?
You come and tell me your interest, then I'll see whether the business you want to do is viable. Then we are going to have a committee that will recommend what you are going to do with that money. If you are recommended by that committee, then we will give you that money. Not only that, when we talk about the experience I'm talking about, having been the mayor of Nyeri, you can see we did a lot when we were mayor. We set out all the squatters who are living in the communities, and we also made sure that all hookers living in Nyeri, they were not harassed by the council. What we are saying, even the current governor should not be charging business permit those who are not able to pay. One thing I can tell you, in Nyawasco there was a demonstration last week.
We'll get Nyawasco in a few minutes. Gashero, why do you want to be the member of parliament come 2022?
I want to say first, it's an aspiration, it's a call to serve, and I've been serving the people. But more, I want to go to Parliament because I want to take part in the legislative process of this country. Because I'm a member of Parliament, I'm the one who guide the nation on the policy framework. So I want to go in Parliament first to participate in the legislative process of our country. Because right now, we are pushing for the bottom-up economy of this republic. I understand my fellow here has said about, I think I said about top-bottom, because I spoke about going outside the country and whatever. But we want to make sure we go, I myself, I go to Parliament and make sure that we have proper laws that come here to the ground, that help people first to get capital on an easy way, and to get protection of their business, to get what we call subsidy. If they are the farmers, they need to have cheap fertilizers, cheap manure, cheap seeds. And this is not happening. Right now, it's the planting season. Just go and ask the farmers how much they are buying for planting seeds. It's very expensive. Most of them are just poor people who do casual work. To get 500 shillings to buy for that bucket is not even possible, because even most of them cannot even afford 3 meals in a day. So what I'm saying is this: we have to go and make laws that are friendly to our country. And one thing I want to go there is because the parliament, the current parliament that is sitting now, has failed in this responsibility. Because what we are seeing now, because the laws that have been passed, maybe on 2018, for example, we had a law like Finance Act. And that law, you can see what is happening in our country. We can see how much we are paying for the gas. We can see how much we are paying for the petrol. So these are the issues we are saying. We have first to consider the laws that are friendly to the people, the laws that will help people to access infrastructures and source of capital in a cheap way, so that it can be able to advance themselves. The youth of this country need laws that are friendly to them. The laws that cater the needs of the youth. Take for example, when you finish the university, where do you go? Only a few chunk of people are employed. Where does the other people go? And now you find like they're being asked like to pay loans. Maybe you're telling someone to pay a loan from the university and he has never gotten employment. Maybe even after taking 10 years, you have never gotten employment. So these are the things that we are saying we need to harmonize. And these are the things that will cause me to come and find a stake in the Nyeri town constituency, to empower all sectors, the business community, friendly laws, and women of this country, and also the women of this town, and also the men who are ahead of us, even the old people who know most of them are left.
Nyota Nyeri, why do you want to be in the parliament come 2022?
I'd like to represent our people, equal representation of our people, thus ensuring greater responsiveness to both their social and economic needs. Yes.
Well, how is that possible?
It is possible through legislation and oversight.
Well, we're going out on a short break, but once we come back, I wish for them to tell me what will happen in their first 100 days in government. Welcome back. This is a hot seat with me, Wangari Muthoi. Before we left, we asked, what will you do in your first 100 days in Parliament? Wanyaga Gadaka.
Very well. That's a very good question. First of all, you should know that the problem we are having in this country is the government have not done enough, especially to the side of youth. They have not what we call lack of planning. If they have had planned well, we could not be having so many people in the street. First and foremost, I don't understand why one should leave Form 4 and then he is told to go to the street. So I was thinking what we can do the 100 days is to see that we create technical schools or classes in a secondary school. After a person leaves do his exam in Form 4, he still continue with the technical matters. That is electricity, to be an electrician, to be a mechanic, or to be a mason. And for that matter, when I'll be elected, I will make sure that the government gives a very good policy. And when it comes to a matter of youth, when I said youth empowerment, we don't go to school so that we can be employed. We go to school so that we can be employers. And I usually tell the student from university, if you are an IT expert, if you are given finance by the government, you can also set up a cyber case so that you can also be able to employ so many people. And in that case, if I go for the seat of MP for Nyeri, first and foremost is to look for the youth to see that how many youth do we have and they have that knowledge. If they have that knowledge, we can give them finance and they set up something like a cyber case and they will be able to employ others. Another thing is about water. Everybody is entitled for fresh water. And when you look at what is happening in Nyeri, Nyawasco is charging the tariff as very high. And you cannot charge a tariff for a village, a person who is living in a village. You charge him the same amount you are charging for a person with an industry like Coca-Cola. We need to reduce that tariff to those who cannot be able to pay for water. Another thing.
Let me ask. Huh?
Yes.
What is the current price? What is the current tariff that is happening in Nyeri right now for the common Mwananchi?
The common Mwananchi, I understand, is paying for about 300 shillings per cubic meters, and that is a lot of money. If you can have different tariffs, let's say in a village like Gatito or any other village like Kamuyu, those people should be charged lower than what is being charged by industries. And that one, it will help people to have water. But currently, people do not have clean water for the disconnection which happened for the last 3 months. Secondly,
are you sure there is no clean water in Nyeri?
Most of the people, their water is cut. The water is there, but they cannot be able to pay because of those charges. Another thing that I should also address when I'll be in Parliament, we have so many landless people, and the government have the power to acquire all the land which are idle with a Compulsory Acquisition Act. We, as a family of Wambogo, there is a land at Wambogo Farm which was acquired by the government with Compulsory Acquisition Act. we should also get lands which are idle, even if it is meant for those who have been claiming lands. Those lands should be taken over by the government. They pay the owner, and then those lands should be given to the landless people. Because we have people who have, you could go to Keganjo, you find people living in a village called, what do you call it? It is called Kiangoroe. These people have been living there. They cannot be able to get even food. And we have land at Narumoro, which is owned by the head of state, the former head of state.
So in points, your first 100 days in government.
And to see that everybody is settled, even those who are in Kiawara, they should get their titles, and they should not be shy. What you call land rate. Those people are poor. And that's what I did when I was the mayor. And in those 100 days, we should see all the people who are hawkers. They are not supposed to pay for permit. It should be given free of charge until when the government will make sure that they put up good structures for those people.
Who sets up the rule of whether to give permits to these hawkers or not?
Yeah, it is the governor, and the governor should know. The people.
So it's not the MP.
The governor should know. Let me finish. The governor should know the people he is representing are the same people I'm representing.
My question is,
whenever he want to make any policy, he should also consult the area and people of that area.
My question is, the MP does not have the powers to make rules on whether these people will have a permit or not. That is purely under the county government. Simply yes or no.
I can answer you very simply. Before, when we used to be the mayors of Nyeri, the mayor was just like a governor. And then before any bill was passed, it have to go through Parliament. So that is one of the things I will introduce in Parliament, that if the governor want to make any policy, it have to go through the Parliament. Because he's representing the same people I'm representing.
For policies to be made in Nyeri county,
It have to be sent through the Parliament so that it can be approved.
Well, that might not be possible in the first 100 days. Nyota ya Nyeri, what is your plan in the first 100 days of government?
My first 100 days, first and foremost, I start with cleaning my house. Because as is, there is a lot of issues on this house called Nyeri Town. I will do that, and then I will put my matters according to priority, both long-term and short-term.
Question, cleaning of your house, where do you start? You know you don't just start from anywhere.
Yes.
There is a bedroom, there is a kitchen, there is everywhere.
Yes.
So where do you start and what do you look for when you're cleaning that house?
What I intend on doing is first and foremost dealing and looking into the economic matters that are eating our people. We know Nyeri Town is the hub of our county, and most economic activities take place in our town.
E.g., the economic matters eating our people, e.g.
The very many things that our people are the problems that they are facing. Let's say the traders, the small-scale traders out here. There's also another issue, matters employment, and why is employment low in our town? It is low because we are not yet attracting more investors to come and invest in our town, thus creating more employment for our people.
Okay. Wakero, in your first 100 days, what will you do?
Yes, in my first 100 days, I'll focus on youth and women empowerment. Particularly, we shall organize training seminars for our youth and women before lending them money, so that they shall be trained on financial management skills. You realize if you give somebody a loan like of 100,000 and they don't have those skills, they are likely to use the money even in personal affairs rather than invest. Upon training, we shall also embark on a program of ensuring that they engage in economic activities such as poultry farming, and they shall be trained on the same. And we shall also have a marketing department that shall deal with marketing those final products, the eggs and the chicken. The other thing that I shall do is that I shall also table a bill in Parliament that shall stipulate, a private member's bill that shall stipulate that for one to be elected as a member of Parliament of any particular area, one must have lived in that particular electoral area for at least 5 years prior to the elections. Are we together? This is to ensure that anybody who is elected is aware of the needs and aspirations of those people.
Is that really not possible in 100 days? The first 100 days?
You see, it is introducing a bill, so it will take maybe more time.
And my question is, in the first 100 days of
You're asking me what I will do. That is what I will start doing. It might take longer, but I'll start then.
So
Are we together?
Okay.
The other thing that I shall do, you have talked of the water issue. We can do something that will make our water cheaper. Rather than fighting the water company, we can do this. We can push and lobby for the establishment of a department that shall deal with water packaging and subsequent distribution. In that case, we shall have taken the commercial aspect of the company to the sale of bottled water. And as such, it shall lead to a reduction in the cost of the water at the tap. In the process, we shall also create jobs for drivers, loaders, accountants, and other people who shall be working for that particular department.
Okay, Gashero, in your first 100 days as the member of Parliament, Nyeri, what will you do?
I think the first 100 days, if I'm elected, first will be to thank the people of Nyeri for electing me to be member of Parliament, because I've been fighting for this seat for a long period. Since 2017, I contested, and I'm not in Parliament. The first thing will be to thank them, and just tell them thank you. And from there, then I will consider the issue of allocation of the CDF money, which I know there's a lot of conflict. We have to have the data of the poor families so that I make sure only the needed students, those who come from the poor family, they are not denied that chance. Because myself was a victim during my study in high school. I stopped school because I lacked somebody to pay for my fee. And at that time there was no CDF, there was no government that was supporting the kitty to come the constituents. So the first 100 days, I'll make sure I do what I call a data correction of the whole of the constituents of Nyeri town, every corner, and I have a proper data of those needy students, so that the money, the poor student, most of them who are saying they have been left out during the allocation of the CDF, they get the right to share. The other thing would be, because you have to, as a member of Parliament, you have to understand the disparity in our country. You ask yourself, is this constituency called Nyeri? Is another one that called Masabit? What is the population there? Why are we having 100,000 million being given the same geography or constitution, where the population is very low and here the population is very high? So it means that child there in Masabit gets 20,000. A child here in Nyeri, maybe the much he or she can get is 5,000. So I would make sure I go to this, and that's why I'm saying the current Parliament has failed, because these are the disparities. These are the disparities that they have failed to resolve for the last 5 years. And that's why I'm coming in. I also be fighting throughout the Republic to make sure that we harmonize the issue of population. We have population in Nyeri. Let the Nyeri people be given CDF allocation according to their population, so that we can have what we call debate. All students are treated in the same manner in other parts. Who is going to be charged? But what I would say, for the only thing we can do as a member of Parliament is only to have what we call public participation constituency. They are called in a public participation, whereby they will be told why the waters will be paid, and maybe as a member of Parliament, I would like an engagement with the county government to see why maybe my people should pay for high bill, and the county government is the one that's supposed to regulate it.
I don't know whether I can comment on that.
Yes.
I am saying that, yes, the people who are being represented by the MC, everything that is being passed to be taken through to the Parliament. And I'm saying, not only in Nyawasco, any policy that is being made by the county government should pass through the Parliament.
So for policies to be made, I'm giving you a minute, Wakero. For policies to be made by the county government and to become law, they have to go to the
Parliament.
They have to go to the county
Yes,
assembly
and then
first.
forwarded to the Parliament.
So they will be law, and then now they can be forwarded to the Parliament. I thought the Parliament's role is to form the larger controls.
The question is, madam, the question is, why do we have the Minister for Water in the national government?
What we should
We
understand.
have the Minister for Water. Why is it there? It is to know that what is happening
What we
in
should
the town
understand.
there.
Okay, we give Wanyaga 1 minute and then...
Yes, what is happening there? It is, that's why we have the Minister for Water. And the Minister of Water is supposed to know what is happening all over the country. Whether in the county government, they are the one who approve, who should be approving the tariff. We cannot just leave it to the county government because they can raise the tariff so that they can be able to get their avances in a big way.
Bakero?
Yes, I want to rectify this erroneous assertion that the National Assembly can do a function that is devolved. Are you together, Bonanyaga? Because water belongs to the county government. However, we have regulators. The work that I do, I work under Nyeri. We have regulators, national regulators, like the Water Services Regulatory Board, that is supposed to regulate what Nyeri charges. So in Parliament, there's nothing that you can do directly or indirectly pertaining the issues of water in Nyeri town.
I think one thing we need to really
Because we have
understand
this
right
role
now.
of separation of powers.
I think what's the complaint of the people of Nyeri is that there was a fake.
However,
there was a fake public
however,
participation.
let me finish. As a representative of the people, you can lobby for the reduction of those tariffs through consultations with the county government, as well as Nyeri Water and Sanitation Company Limited. The much that you can do is lobbying.
Okay.
So what I was saying is, if you look at how this thing came up, it's because there was no proper public participation. And there's a complaint that anything that was signed down here in Ogofa, there was a meeting about the water. People say it was a fake. They were not informed public participation. And so what I'm saying is this: as a member of Parliament, I have a duty to make sure there is public participation, that my people in the constitution are informed before the tariffs are increased. And right now, what we are saying, so that we can understand where is that there is a finance act with the county government that is new for the area that was passed. It gives power to the county government to raise taxes. From where? From the services they are offering. So they are empowered through an act, through the county assembly. So what we are saying is, as we can do is, as a member of okay, much I can do is to inform the people so that they are told, why are we supposed to pay high rate? Does it mean that the water source has changed from up there to somewhere else? We are getting water from Indian Ocean. Our water just come here. I don't understand why we pay so much for this water. No. I think what you should do as a member of Parliament, what right now should be happening that he should have mobilized the people of Nyeri to the county government office to get a reason why they should pay. But we have not seen this happening. This town, we have not seen it happen.
What there is matters water in the town, this issue with Nyewasco, it has been ailing all of us. I'll speak from a woman's point of view. As I said before, on a personal level, the house has to be put in order, your people have to be clean, food have to be put on the table, and water flow. And we do all that using water. What I personally feel is that the water service provider, which is Nyewasco, ought to have used advertised its public participation in a way that it would reach each and every person who have a smartphone. They would have used maybe broadcasting through radio stations, TVs, and make sure that at least all villages are represented, even if it's clients, and reach an amicable solution of what is seeing happening.
Well, are we okay, all of us on Nyewasco?
I want to say this, and this is very possible. And that one can be changed through the Parliament. All laws that are going to be made by county government everywhere in this country should pass through Parliament. And that's why we have, let me finish. There's any policy that is going to affect the wananchi or distant, because I want to repeat once again.
Let me
and
ask
so, if we are going to just watch and see and left the governor and the MCA to do what they want, then the blame will it will not only go to the MCA, it will also go.
Can I cut you short?
Go ahead.
You see, with the new constitution, 2010 constitution, is what we call separation of powers. And this is why I'm telling you, the roles that are supposed to be played by the county government. The National Assembly cannot tackle an issue that is supposed to be tackled at the county level. Maybe what you're trying to, maybe you're referring to the former constitution which you act under, okay? Which would allow for the
I wish for us to first understand
yes.
What are the roles of a member of parliament? Let us first understand that. Huh?
Yeah, we have three roles.
Yes.
There's oversight, there's representation,
Yes.
and there's legislation.
Okay, there is a difference between the devolved government and the parliament.
There are roles that are supposed to be played by the county government and roles to be played by the national government, and they are distinct.
But we also
What the national government does, it provides oversight.
Yes.
And we have bodies like I've talked about WASREG, the regulator. Are we together? We also have WSTF, the Water Services Trust Fund that funds these water companies. Are we together? But the National Assembly cannot intervene in a role that is supposed to be played by the county government. And that is why we have the governor as the president of the county. And that's why when this issue arose, we got the governor called the management of the company so that they can discuss the way forward. Are we together? We also have other issues like the ECD. It falls under the county government. Are we together?
But I would disagree with you because a member of parliament
Yes.
Also has an opportunity to be invited on those boards, to intervene on those
Yes.
boards.
Which
So
is
you can't
okay.
say, well, that's what you are saying, there has to be public participation because member of parliament, as a member of parliament,
Actually,
I
he
also
even
have
has a representative in that board. Are we together? So that any issue that the member of parliament wish to raise
you
with the
can-
water company, that representative of the member of parliament will raise that issue.
what we need to agree on, I think,
Yes.
is one thing, that this water issue
Yes.
touches the people the MP represents,
Yes.
the people the governor
Yes,
represents,
that's true.
the MCAs
and the MP should be on the front line to fight
and all of these
for the
people
lower
are
tariffs.
representatives
For
of
the
the
lower
people.
tariffs.
That is
You
why
can
we
just-
are
you
saying
cannot
all of
just
them
leave it to
need
the governor.
be
And the
You
MCA.
see, in
That's what you
in
were
human
saying.
resource management, there's something we call job description.
Yes.
When you're hired as a member of parliament, there's what you can do and there's what you cannot do.
So basically, right now,
No,
our
no,
hero.
You cannot tell us the member of parliament does not have a law in the
You are
water
representing the same
I'm saying
scenario.
this person has a representative in the water board.
Kindly,
Yeah, that's a role.
Now you are saying he doesn't have a law.
The sheriff-
You
the
say
sheriff-
you
the
become a member
sheriff-
of parliament, say you sit on the side fence, then you will be representing
The
your
Sheriff,
people.
just a
No.
minute.
So you see why you should not be a member of parliament.
Okay.
No.
We need to get this in order.
We need to go
The
out
Sheriff,
there
the
and
Sheriff.
we need to go
He's
down
getting
and
angry
given an
because he doesn't know the
opportunity
rules of a member of
to
parliament.
speak. We must
You don't know the
we
rules.
must go.
You first go and
Can I- can I
you are a
be given a
lawyer,
chance?
you are a
Can I be
lawyer,
given
but
a
you don't
chance?
even know the rules of a
Let-
member of
let-
parliament. That is very unfortunate.
Can we call this in order?
The reason
Can we
why
call-
we are here.
Wakioro,
question
Wanyaga,
your
the Sheriff. No, everybody, we first cool down. Just a minute. We are coming back in a minute. We need some fire extinguisher and some water. Thank you. This is a hot seat with me, Wangari Muthoi. First and foremost, let me welcome Duncan Maina Matenge. Hata kama umechelewa.
Thank you, Agari. Glad to be here. Sorry for being late. And I'm happy to be a panelist at the hot seat.
Okay, so we gave each person a minute to introduce themselves. Okay, we gave them two. But for you, because you're late, we're going to give you 1 minute to introduce yourself and kindly tell us why do you want to be the member of parliament come 2022?
Okay, my name's Duncan Maina Matenge. The young people in Nyeri call me DMM. I am born in a place called Kewio, from Nyeri PGH Hospital. Raised and schooled in Kewio Primary School and Giakanja Harabe Secondary School then. Then went for A-levels in Nyandarua High School. Then proceeded to the Kenya Medical Training College. Currently as it is known. Those days it used to be called the College of Health Professions, where I took a course, Diploma in Dental Technology.
since then, I've worked in Kenyatta National Hospital for 5 years, PGH Nakuru for 1 year, and District Hospital Machakos for 1 year, after which I went into private practice. That is what I've been doing all my life, and except for the times I have engaged in politics. And of course, I did serve for 1.5 years in the inaugural Nyeri County government of Nyeri. For 1 year, I was the chief of staff in the late Governor Derito Gashagua's office, and later for another 1 year, I served as his political advisor. Again, due to disagreements in the direction that the county government of Nyeri was taking at that time, I opted to leave the county government employment voluntarily and went back to my practice as a dental technologist.
Well, okay. In your first 100 days as a member of parliament, what will be, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you short if you take a lot of time, you're late. So with bullet forms, just kidogo pointing, what are you going to do?
Well, first, why do I want to be a member of parliament? I believe there is nobody among the aspiring candidates, and even the sitting candidates in Nyeri Town, the sitting MP in Nyeri Town, who knows and understands Nyeri Town better than me. I have walked into literally every church in Nyeri Town. I have walked into every primary and secondary school in Nyeri Town. I have visited and engaged with farmers in every coffee factory in Nyeri Town, in every tea collection center in Nyeri Town, in every shopping center in Nyeri Town.
Don't you think, let me cut you short. Don't you think Wanyaga has the same power of telling me that he was a mayor for 2 terms in Nyeri, and he lives basically upper meaning Gatito? Don't you think Gashero has the right to tell me he schools here?
I agree, 100%. But I have said, I have visited, I have participated, I have conversed with people in Nyeri Town. I have listened for the longest time, concentrating on only one seat, the Nyeri Town Parliamentary seat. When you are a councillor, you cannot talk about the parliamentary seat. When you're mayor, you cannot talk about the parliamentary seat. When you are a lawyer or when you're a business person, it's not about the parliamentary seat. So the interaction is at another level. If you're interacting with them when you're selling them tea or selling them, serving them as a lawyer.
Mr. Mayor, I think
it is me to talk.
Yeah.
When you talk about the mayor, you cannot be talking about a parliamentary seat.
Yes.
A member of parliament in Nyeri Town, he will be representing, or he is representing the same people the mayor was representing as a mayor of Nyeri.
Who was the MP when you were mayor?
He was the
Who was the MP when you were mayor?
That was PG Muridi.
That was PG Muridi.
And
so certainly there's a difference.
Let me tell you,
between
and I knew more better
MP.
than what he knew. So that you try to understand. It is me who is to receive people with their problems.
You cannot allow our fellow aspirant to come here and start looking like
let me finish.
You have to allow me. He is a
Wait a minute. Maina said that he have traveled from Nairobi and he have been traveling for the last 20 years. So he doesn't know how Nyeri lives. For 20 years he has been living there.
Wanyaga, can you have
We as Gachero and the rest, we are Nyerians. That's why we came here before. Yes, he is talking about 20 years. How can Nyeri?
10 years
How can you know?
10 years I lived with you in Nairobi.
10 years I was working at the bank. I was playing politics.
10 years.
When you are playing with Nairobi. My friend, when you talk about
Did you live in Nairobi?
No.
Can you deny? Wait.
No.
Former Mayor Wanyaga, can you deny that you never lived in Nairobi? Deny. Deny.
One time and then I
Face that camera and deny that you never lived in Nairobi.
That's why I was selected.
Face that camera and deny.
Hey.
These people are Nairobians. You don't know what they're doing. He cannot talk about Nyeri.
No.
When he knows that he has been living in Nairobi for 20 years. How does he understand?
I wish to have some Wanyaga, I'm going to give everybody an opportunity.
Let me first respond.
But Gashero,
Let me because I have an objection.
He was also mentioned.
I was also mentioned.
He was mentioned. Esther was mentioned. Before you used to address this matter very well.
Face that camera and deny. Face and deny.
I'm not talking about. You are putting words in my mouth. You cannot put words in my mouth. You have to make
We had a very healthy discussion. But when you come, you start attacking us.
Now what I'm saying.
And we know why you resigned from the county government.
I'm not speaking about
we are not going to discuss personalities.
Can we also be given
Can
a
we
chance
do
to
this?
speak? Because
Talk
I'm not
what you want
I'm
to
not
do
saying
for the
anything.
people of
She's not
Nyeri.
saying anything.
What I'm
Don't
saying is,
discuss Gachero.
let me respond.
Don't discuss
Allow me to
Gachero.
respond.
Because this is your
Why would
area.
Allow me to respond. Allow me to
Give us a
respond.
chance
And let me
to
give an opportunity to
I also
respond.
have something that I want to say.
Excuse me for a minute. I wish to put some rule ahead. We are not going to interject anybody.
But no, you have to- you have to raise objections.
Gachero are moderating these. So if we call something to order, kindly let us have it to order. Because literally what we
Can you allow
have
me to
Yes,
to
yes,
respond?
I'll give you
Yeah, answer him. Can you allow
I'll give you
Gachero?
a
Can you allow
minute.
this guy to answer Mr. Maina?
I'll give everybody a minute to respond. But if you respond, Wanyaga responds, Wakero responds, Esther responds,
good.
what happens is
No,
when we respond, all of us
The
as
message which is going to be taken there, it shows that Maina have said something. Let Gachero
So, as
also
people who have
answer.
gone to school, let
Okay.
let us have some
Yes,
order.
sir.
Let
Yes,
us not
exactly.
shout.
Exactly.
Let us have
Mature
order
to shout
so
at
that
each other.
we can have some conversation going. So Gachero,
What
you were to
I
respond.
want to respond to is Shamaina. He has said about the issue of lawyers. And the perception is that the lawyers have no right to contest for member as a member of parliament. Then he has said, going to the constituency, if he were to say he was going to everywhere, me, I'm the one who walked the buying chicken, every house in Nyeri town. And therefore what I'm saying is this, every one of us has a right, and myself as an advocate, I have a right, I have a constitutional right to contest the seat for parliament. And you should understand that we are with him in 2017.
Yes.
He was going in 2017, also going 2017. Putting into account was also carrying chicken, using bicycle to go every house to house to buy chicken so that I can go to get my education. So what we are saying, let's understand, every one of us has a right to contest as a member of parliament. And he has no larger right than us. There's no one who has a larger right. He is not ahead of us. He is not ahead of us. What I'm saying is 2022, listen, 2022, the seat will be declared vacant. We always be at par. It will depend with how you sell your manifesto and your policy. It doesn't mean that you win.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because you contest, it doesn't mean that you win.
Thank you for that. Maina, do you want to respond to that?
I have said, this is what I say, that over the last 20 years, I have deliberately gone out and engaged Nyeri town constituents and residents on one single issue, the Nyeri town parliamentary seat. I have not said Gachero did not engage Nyerians while buying chicken. He did when buying chicken.
Okay, you've responded to Gachero. Wakero, you have something
Yes.
burning?
When we started, there's something that I said, but you can only understand a place where you live in. And I started by saying that once elected, I shall lobby, I shall push a law, I shall call for that shall have a clause, I shall state that for you to be elected as a member of parliament, MCA or governor in a particular region, you should have lived in that particular area for a period of not less than 5 years prior to the election. Reason being, if I don't live in Nyeri, I know nothing about this place. I don't know the needs, the problems, and the aspirations of the people of Nyeri. My only interest is getting that seat so that I can serve my own interest. Reason being, if truly we want to represent some people, where you live, those people have needs. If you live in Donholm, those people have needs, and you can ask them to vote you in. For instance, in Nairobi, we have 17 constituencies. And if you live in Nairobi, nobody has denied you a chance to contest for that particular constituency where you live in. My worry is, where you are born, things change, things are dynamic. What was here, what is here right now is not what was there 20 years ago as you are driving to and from Nairobi.
I have.
Are we together?
In Nairobi,
There's one question I wish to ask you.
Yes.
Which estate do you live? Or your home area?
My home area.
Yes.
I
Here in
live,
Nyeri.
I live in Kihuyo. I have a residence in Ring.
Ben.
Wait, I have a residence in Ring Road.
Yes.
I have a residence in Nairobi. When you get elected as a member of
Yes.
parliament,
Yes.
Parliament, the national Parliament, is not in Rorengo.
Yes.
It is not
Yes.
at the Whispers Park.
Yes.
You will have to have a residence in Nairobi. In which case, following your argument, you will never come back to Nyeri. You will seek to be elected where you will rent a house in Nairobi because you're working there.
A very simple question. Where you live in Nairobi,
Just a minute.
we have residents of that area. And
Yes.
you know the needs and aspirations of those people.
I do not, in fact, I have a residence.
Even
I
though
have a
village
residence.
elders, Gashero, assuming you live in Rorengo, kuna mtaa wa nyumba 10. Anaishi kama hapo.
This is why it is called people who are interested in living in Nyeri and not exiting the boundaries of Nyeri town
You can see
should
even for the
contest the seat of an MCA. That is why the county assembly is right here in Rorengo. If you are going to be elected as senator or a member of the National Assembly, you will have to go and work in Nairobi. If you do not believe that people who work and live in Nairobi should come and contest in Nyeri, then you should not contest a seat.
Why?
Because once you get the seat, you will go to work and you will live
I can
in
be
Nairobi.
driving to Nairobi. That's 2 hours.
I have done the same.
Mine around me also. Please. Now we are discussing personality. But I can tell you mine. The fact remains. If you want to contest a seat here, you must own a house. That's one. The former, let me finish.
What is owning
I have
a house?
given you time
Just a
to
minute.
talk.
I
have given you time.
We have clarity.
Let me tell you.
Because I want to be able to bring a title deed here.
Let me
Similar
finish,
to what
Mr.
you
Maina.
have. What do you mean by saying you
Maina.
want?
I was listening to you. I remember one time.
I wish I had read something, bro.
Mr. Kogoro, who was a member of Parliament.
Your cousin, Wanyere Kehoro, was a member of Parliament in Nyeri town. Where did he used to live? Where was his family?
You like shouting. This thing is not going to
We must put
portray well.
it in
When you shout, when you don't want to listen to people,
We are
and
coming
you want
back
to be listened,
in a minute.
what are you doing?
We are coming back.
Let me tell you.
after this. I want to set a very, very simple rule. If you interject another person, you are kindly requested to walk out. Are we clear?
Very well.
Are we all clear?
Yes.
Mine, are we okay on that?
Yeah.
Dr. Anyeri, are we okay?
I think I'll be the first one.
Okay, I'm sorry, but literally what we're having is not constructive. Okay, so mine, I'm giving you less than a minute to finish on your 100 days in office.
My first 100 days in office. First, the NHIF Act amendment to ensure that the same way NHIF appoints hospitals where a member of NHIF can get treatment, NHIF must appoint a pharmacy or a chemist where a member can go and get drugs or medication if they miss in the hospital, appoint a diagnostic radiology diagnostic center where a member can go for x-rays or diagnostic imaging if the hospital does not have the facilities or the service, and appoint a laboratory where a member can go for laboratory services if the appointed hospital does not have. That will drastically change the out-of-pocket expenditures for Nyerians and Kenyans in general in terms of health. Number two, on the youth and access to credit. Everybody knows that very few people in Kenya own title deeds. Very few people in Kenya own motor vehicles and with logbooks. The young person has only two things: their identity card and their college degree, certificate or diploma. And the government can attach a cost to any certificate, degree or diploma. The government must change the issue of securing credit for young people and women who want to go into business, so that their certificates and their identity cards and their reputation within the community where they live is sufficient guarantee for them to access credit in this country.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay.
Yes, mine is simple. One is that I shall ensure, on the issue of bursaries, I shall ensure that there's fair equitable and timely distribution.
I thought we had already discussed that on
okay,
you. On you, we had already discussed that.
Okay, I can touch on another issue.
No. I'm asking a question and you are responding to that question. We had already responded to your 100 days in office.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
So we can go ahead.
Yes.
We were finishing up on your school issue. And if I can clearly remember, before Maina came in, Gashero was telling us about Nyawasco. Gashero.
Yes.
And kindly, I'm giving you a minute.
What
Because we were, I've cut you short. No, I've cut you short because you're telling us about your 100 days in office. True? True?
And even I'll also work in those.
My question is, had we asked about 100 days in office?
Yes.
Did you get a chance to respond to that?
Yes.
What, before Maina came in, what were we discussing?
Nyawasco.
Nyawasco. Where had we left it at? On Gashero. True? Or we were talking about Gashero telling
So
us.
you have erroneously given me a chance to talk. That's what you are admitting, yeah?
No, all I'm saying is I was giving you a chance thinking you were responding to what Maina said or you had a question on what Maina said. But because we have already discussed 100 days in office, we are going to go forward. So Gashero, tell us about Nyawasco. You were talking about the oversight authority. That is where we were. And kindly, it's a minute.
Yes, the Member of Parliament takes a role in every. What we need to understand: the Member of Parliament takes role in every sectors within the constituency, education sector, the roads, and also the water. So he or she must have a say. And me, I say, for the Member of Parliament, you have to mobilize your people to make sure there is a proper public participation with the county government, and then so that the people will be able to understand where they asked to pay a lot of money, and they had said, water is just here in Abadia. It is cleansed here at Kamak, just here. It's not gotten from Indian Ocean. Why should we pay so much money to the county government? And then I say, there is a finance act that empowers the county government, passed by the county assembly, to raise taxes. So there is that act. So for me, it would be to rally, to petition even the county assembly. As a member of parliament, I see this law you passed is not auguring well, but now it is extremely high. Can you put the curfew? The water cannot go up to this level, so that they don't increase the water bill the way they want. If you know the problem we have been having in our constituency, there are even areas they are saying their water. People are charged water bills, and the water does not reach there.
I asked something.
Yes.
What is the current water tariff in Nyeri? I need to get that tariff. What is the current water tariff in Nyeri?
I think it's below 60, we pay around 300 shillings.
That's what I was saying. Before I can continue, and this is not interruption, I do remember, and I can say.
Kindly, your voice is down.
I can say with fact, all laws are made in Parliament. Treating companies like Nyawasco, it was made in Parliament. To create county government, it was made through Parliament and through the referendum of the Constitution. And anything can be changed. When you see a problem of lies somewhere, that law can be changed through the Parliament. What we are saying now is that because the county government cannot understand what is happening with the resident of Nyeri, the complaint, they should also be told anything to do with policies, whether in water, whether in business permit, should be passed. When they pass, they should go through the Parliament also. We can also be doing we work as a team, coordination between the county government and the national government. And that one will help the people of this country. We are not talking about Nyeri only. We are saying consultation means a lot. So we cannot say that because there is a default government, when things happen, we leave the member of parliament just like that. I'm saying everybody is representing the same people the members of parliament is representing.
Wakero, do you have something to say on Nyawasco?
Yes. Yeah, Nyawasco as a water company is under the county government of Nyeri. for some responsibility on the part of the county government of Nyeri. Nyawasco also works and WASRE, the Water Services Regulatory Board. So they also have a thing to do with that. As a member of parliament, what I can do is lobby, asking questions on behalf of my people. However, let us remember that the water company also has expenditures, as it says. We have the human resource aspect. We have the petrol aspect of the water company and paying the bills. So as we criticize, let us not dwell so much on the negativity, but let us also look at how the company can be fair to Antico and the existence of the company is not at stake. Are we together? Because you can fight the company so much such that you'll end up suffering if the company falls down. Are we together? There's an issue he has touched on health. What I'll do as a member of parliament.
We are talking on Nyawasco.
You see, you had asked me whether I have anything to say in response to what he said. So I have a right
We
to also
skipped
say
that. We already finished up with that. And we are currently on matters Nyawasco. Kindly.
No, since you won't give me another chance, and
You get another chance.
You will.
I can respond
We are
to you.
here for
No, you're going to have another time.
I have something else to
affecting
say
our
about it.
people.
I don't think there's a problem.
No.
Not you. It's
On
not
my
personal.
first 100 days.
No. We are not discussing that. Esther.
Let me finish. Because you cut me, I never finished. Can I finish? Yes. I'm saying,
You have 30 seconds.
yeah, that's a second. You know the problem we have right now is because there was no public participation. And me as a member of
Was there?
parliament,
I say you don't have the information, sorry.
listen, you talk. There's a challenge over this.
Wachero is defending Nyawasco so much.
Yes. Me what I'm
I don't
saying.
know why.
Me what I'm saying. Me what I'm
We're not
saying.
interjecting.
He's a
Kindly.
client of Nyawasco.
We are not interjecting.
Me what I'm saying. Well, let me finish. I want to finish. 1 minute to finish. Let me finish. What I'm saying is this: the way in which the public participation was said to be held, it is questionable even now, because people are saying we never participated in this increase of the tariffs. And now what we are saying, me as a member of parliament, if I was a member of parliament, what I would have done, and what I'm supposed to do in the future is that I have to lobby the whole of my constituency so that they participate and they understand why the water tariffs are being increased. Finally, you know people like us, we are born. We are the people who are carrying water in jerrycans, whatever. And now being denied water, and even sometimes people are paying water, and the water is not ceasing where the people are asked to pay, and the water is not ceasing there. And we are not listen, let me finish. And we want to hear, and what I'm saying, a person who is not going where people are, how will you know there are no water in some areas?
Okay.
For me, what I want to say is this: if I become a member of parliament, I need to go quickly. Know there is water. If there is no water, you have seen tanks takes people water to people's home. Why is it happening? And you have never had a member of parliament speak.
Nyeri, what is the issue with Nyawasco and what do you feel should be done right now?
We'll still echo the same sentiments I've given earlier, or I've raised earlier, that Nyawasco as a company ought to sit down with its clients, who are the Nyeri residents, and come up with an amicable solution in regards to the tariffs and the way forward. And at the same time, also educate its clients a bit more on its operations and the other things that the other issues that they are claiming are causing the hiking of the tariff. Reason being, our people need the civic education in most of these areas.
Maina.
Yes, Nyawasco, the current problem is that Nyawasco grades its customers according to consumption bands, from 0 to 6 units, from 6 units to 10 units, and each band, consumption band, has a different tariff. When the public participation was done, Nyawasco, through deception, by being deceptive, went and mobilized people who consume the least amount of water and made sure they are the ones who attended the public participation. So those ones had to support because their water bills were going down. But they omitted the others whose water bills or whose water tariffs they were increasing. And therefore, one of the solutions today is for Nyawasco to carry out public participation according to the way it has categorized its consumers. 0 to 6 units, above 6 units to 10 units, like that, and have public participation for each category. That way, everybody will be objective, and after that, Nyawasco can relate. Number 2.
I'm going to send the two of you out. Huh?
Number 2, Nyawasco serves the entire of the entire Nyeri town constituency and part of Kieni and part of Madeira. We saw them go to the ward in Kerimokoyo where they supply water. We saw them go to Shaka, the ward where they supply water. In Nyeri town, they must also take the public participation to the ward level.
Okay, let me ask.
Lastly, WASLEP. WASLEP is a regulator. It sets, it issues licenses and sets guidelines at the national level. Nyawasco, like all the other 5 water companies in Nyeri County, are 100% owned by the county government. The county government has a say in whether, and the county government in Nyawasco, the governor has 3 votes. The chief of staff sits in the Nyawasco board. The chief officer for finance sits on the Nyawasco board. The chief officer or the executive for water sits in the Nyawasco board.
Engineer.
And therefore, it means that when all these issues were being brought up, as a devolved function, the county government must be fully seized. And on the issue of the regulator, WASLEP is not the only regulator. We have the Energy Regulatory Authority. If WASLEP is a regulator, it should regulate the prices of water the way the Energy Regulatory Authority regulates the prices of petrol. So we should have an even cost of water for every, the basic cost plus a markup based on the expenditures, like distance from the source. Like on petroleum, the only difference in petrol is because of the transport cost. So we cannot have a variance. Nyeri County, we have a different tariff for Nyawasco, we have a different tariff for Mwasco, we have a different tariff for Mawasco, we have a different tariff for Narwasco, and most of them are getting the water from their abadeas. Why should that happen? There is a failure of understanding and misrepresentation of the role of WASLEP. WASLEP has absolutely no role in determining the price of water other than issuing the guidelines that must be followed. The public participation that was done in Nyeri was a mastery of deception. Washioro will defend Nyawasco because the facility he operates is owned by Nyawasco, and he has a contract with Nyawasco to operate that. If he goes against Nyawasco, he knows he can lose the contract. He has vested interest.
I have a right to defend.
I sat in the
Don't
board.
attack me and then tell me that I won't talk. That is unfair.
You asked for proof.
Because you have been proved.
You asked
What
for
you have
proof.
said.
I sat for 2 years. For 2 years, I was a member in the 2013, 2014, 2014, 2015. I was a member of the Nyawasco board, representing the Nyeri governor in the board.
Okay. So
And it is at that time that facility was finished, and the understanding between Nyawasco and the Water Services Trust Fund was that once that sanitation facility was finished, it would be subcontracted to a youth group to manage it.
okay.
It's getting
So
personal.
I wish to understand that.
Let him
It's
answer.
fair, really.
Let him
That
answer.
is exactly
It is-
what I'm going to do, Wanyaga.
Yes.
I'm the one moderating. Or do I give you a seat?
Well, if you can.
Okay. Kindly, I want you to respond. There are some, I don't want to call them allegations, I don't want to call them facts, that Maina has raised.
For one, yes, what I do is under Nyawasco, and there's no problem with that. But my question is, am I do I pay water? Don't I feel the pinch of paying that high water bill? So what I'm saying is, as we criticize, let us do so in maturity. Let us do so with sobriety. Don't just fight for the sake of it. Mind you, if the water company became dysfunctional today, you would not be affected because you live in the road. So as you criticize it, you don't care what happens.
Can I produce my water bill? Can I produce my water bill?
Are we together?
Can I produce my water bill?
No, we are not here to produce private documents.
Can I produce my water bill?
I'm giving you the last warning. Maina, if you interject,
Let him talk.
Wakiero again, I'm going to request you walk out. Okay.
I'm saying, that that facility uses a lot of water. They pay high water bills. I'm also affected. At home, I pay high water bills. I'm also affected. But what you're saying is, as we criticize the company, the water company, let us do so rationally. Don't do it like you want the company to fail so that somebody else can take over. We can sit and talk. Actually, information is power. Last week, the governor had a sitting, within my knowledge, with the team of management of the water company, and we expect that something shall happen in regard to the same. Are we together? So as you criticize, make sure you have enough information on what you're saying, because they had a sitting and that's what they agreed. And actually, as we're talking right now, the water company stopped disconnecting, and I'm not defending that company.
Okay,
I'm being fair as a leader.
No.
Because as a leader, you're not expected to bring down people and institutions.
You're speaking so much.
You're not supposed to try to bring down people and institutions as a leader.
It is good corporate
supposed to show
practice.
direction.
It is a good corporate practice that when you have a vested interest in an issue, you declare that interest forehand. I say, because of your tenancy within a facility owned by Newasco, you have conflict of interest. That is not criticizing me. It is presenting facts as they are.
Well, okay.
What I'm saying,
It is not. I actually give you a
let's
We can say
We are going on a break. We are going on a break.
Let's close this. Let's close this.
Well, my director is telling me time is up, and I feel no.
Can we comment
at this moment?
This by the two.
At this moment.
The two candidates.
Can you allow
I
us?
can,
At this moment.
I can say this,
Yes.
Nyawasco have done something. It have created employment, and especially to Achiolo.
Yes.
When you try to challenge Nyawasco in that manner, we also not creating, empowering you.
Yes.
That is
I am
And
glad
actually
to see
from
that
that
Achiolo was given a facility
Yes.
where he is getting money.
And I've gotten a
When you
degree
give his
from that facility.
Okay. That is good.
What I'm saying is this. Because you're saying we are criticizing, it should not stop us to say that people are paying high. We should not keep silent and watch people pay high. Listen, let me finish. We are saying we are criticizing in a maturity way. What we are doing is very mature. We are saying that people of Nyeri are paying high tariffs in
I'm
water.
also saying the same.
Listen, you better. I'm not like your response. And
I
what we are
wish to
saying.
give you people a minute to say goodbye to our viewers and tell them, okay.
Goodbye.
No. We have not finished. We have not finished. We have other issues to discuss.
We are coming
We have not
back.
talked about industry.
We are coming
We have
back.
not talked about labor.
We are coming
Why are you
back.
saying that to me?
We are coming
No,
back
we cannot
in
do
a
that.
minute after we talk
Yes.
behind the scenes
We need to
and
discuss
agree
so many
that
issues
Nyawasco
affecting
issue.
him,
The only
including the behaviors of the
Welcome back. This is a hot seat with me, Wangari Mothoi. Well, the inferno in this place is scorching. Like literally, I needed to get a glass of water. We've decided we're going to give them some minutes to end, 5 minutes as closing remarks. However, we're going to invite each personally, later on in the day or in course of the week, whereby they'll give us their agenda, and then we'll invite the public for a public participation with them, and we can have a question and answer forum. We start with you, Wakioro. 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I was trying to speak a bit about my agenda for the constituency. That I was talking about bursaries, ensuring with timely, fair, and equitable distribution of bursaries. We shall also ensure that once in office, during the issuance of bursaries, we employ at least 10 clerks who will come to the CDF offices and help parents fill in the forms. We shall also ensure that the chiefs from all the locations for that particular week operate from the CDF offices. Secondly, I shall lobby for the establishment, this is on health, of the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology Teaching and Referral Hospital. I shall also actualize the science park that is already in construction, and which shall help in advancing technology in our constituency. The other thing that I shall talk about is on sport. Within 3 months, I shall ensure that the completion of Ruringo Stadium, which has halted for some time now, and that there's a management team that shall oversee operations at the stadium. Are they over? Not yet. Eh? So, in addition, I shall also ensure that we have at least 2 new technical training institutes. I shall ensure that our street children, the grown-up ones, get in those institutes and they are taught plumbing, masonry, carpentry, and other technical courses. I shall also push for the reduction of multiple taxation. You realize our businesses, like the bar owners, they pay up to 6 forms of taxes. And this is a burden. I think Madam can attest to this. And this is a burden to our business people, which makes them go roller coaster. They don't make any profit.
I wish for you to use your last minute to say goodbye to our viewers.
Yes, my last minute shall be used to say that I shall ensure that there's a functional talent center that shall have a management team so that we can nurture our talent as a people of Nyeri.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
We are really honored.
Yes.
Wanyaga Gadaka?
Wanyaga Gadaka has been tested. Having been the mayor for Nyeri for 5 years, I've been tested. And what I've done, people of Nyeri knows that. But there's something which is hurting me whenever I'm at home. People are coming for Harambes for secondary schools, for university. And when you look at the money we are getting from CDF, 100 million. One should ask, to educate a university student is 65,000 per semester. For 1 year, to educate, for 2 semesters, it is 130. We are saying if you can educate more than 40 children in this constituency, paying the whole amount, the whole school fees to students, it will amount to about 10 million shillings. When you calculate that, 10 million shillings is a peanut to what we are getting from the national government. That is 100 million shillings. We are saying, when I get to that office, the CDF office, I'll make sure in every ward, we have 5 wards, we have more than 20 children who are in the university who the CDF will be paying school fees without asking the parents any single amount, because that is a lot of money, and we have to think about education. Finally, we are talking about industries. We have very many rich people who want to be leaders of this country, and they are talking about trying to get investors from this country. They should first of all start by investing, because we have enough land. And I also should challenge the current leadership. We cannot be giving license to Brookside to be collecting milk here and they are processing